Hi everyone, I'm Bumhee. Um, to explain what I learned from TLBS, I have to explain who I was before this class. And so from the get-go of the class, I knew what I struggled with. Ever since high school, I always struggled with busyness, so it wasn't hard to choose what was distracting me from creating an intimate relationship with God. Because for me, if I wasn't doing something, it felt like I was wasting time, and we only have 24 hours in a day to live. So starting from like high school, I remember running through different part-time jobs, different extracurricular activities, creating a relationship with both school friends, church friends, and seriously, everything was a balancing game, and I thought I managed it pretty well. So this habit of busyness continued in college and post-grad, and within the last 3 years alone, I created a jewelry business, started a YouTube channel, went through wedding preparation, got married, and studied for my real estate license, all while working a full-time job and doing other church ministries. Um, Also going to every social gathering I wanted to attend. So gotta admit though, every part of each journey was not just quote unquote fun. If anything, it was chaotic and my mind was always so busy on the thought of, okay, so what do I need to do next? And as a firm believer of Kelly Clarkson's song Stronger, there's a lyric that says what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I thought that was it. Like life is supposed to be hard and challenging, and it's supposed to be about overcoming what is hard. And God will not put me through this if I can't handle it, so I can do it. I really thought busyness was a gift and blessing that He has handed me, so I couldn't complain, and thought I had to accomplish everything that was given so that God could use me properly in His timing. Um, my closest friends actually know, though, my idea of true vacation and true rest is not doing anything, like doing nothing. Like, it's because I hate responsibilities and having to make decisions, and I really dislike thinking. So if I had a full day to myself, my perfect day would be where I would wake up whenever I want to, where no one is looking for me, and knowing that I have nothing like left to do on my agenda for the day. So now, how does that all come together? Well, in the past 12 weeks, um, each discipline truly shed light to the biggest sin that I carried. And my biggest sin was that I don't spend genuine time with God alone in solitude. And in all honesty, I didn't even give myself time to talk with God, let alone think by myself on why I do certain things, to really question, is this really what God wants me to do, or is this what I want to do? I really let life do its thing and just went with the flow. And I also remember sharing with House Church before that I often justify what I do after I start doing it. So I chose to believe that people were meant to stay busy, and in the past decade of my life, society never called me out on that business either. Because in the normal secular world, staying busy and motivating yourself to try new things and challenging yourself is not a bad thing at all. If anything, they praise you for it. Um, and we are all creatures of habit, and I was so used to spending every minute, every second of my life to do something, and to be more exact, to accomplish something. And so I always hid behind the lie of that busyness was actually good for me, that I should continue to challenge myself and motivate myself without being still for a second. So now back to what I learned from our TLBS class. From Transforming Life class, we learned the discipline of many things: prayer, worship, service, fasting, confession, study, guidance, meditation, submission, simplicity, solitude, celebration. I wrapped that. As we covered each individual discipline each week, we were taught how we could be better followers of Christ by practicing and cultivating a habit to love the people around us and to think about how we can have a more intimate relationship with God. And every single week, I was reminded in some way, shape, or form that to do all these discipline, we have to be still. How can I know what God is saying if I don't even take the time to actually listen to what He is trying to tell me? And it sounds simple, right? But so I tried, and my my spiritual assignment actually for the past 12 weeks was to be still for 30 minutes a day. And then soon after 60 minutes, but for for the first 2 weeks, it was so hard because I genuinely thought the clock stopped working because 30 minutes went by so slowly. um, And my mind kept thinking of all the things that I could do in the 30 minutes instead. Um, but after a while, I really looked forward to the time to reflect by myself on the day and like really, really talk to God and to really seek if what I was thinking that day or what I was doing that day was truly glorifying God and if that's really what God wanted me to do. Um, I low-key, though, had a quarter-life crisis because of the past 12 weeks since I was literally questioning everything. And it just felt like for the entirety of, like, it was telling me, like, for the entirety of my life, I was running towards all these different goals I set up for myself, stretching myself, like, to the left and to the right so thin to make everyone happy around me, um, only to realize that everything was a facade and everything was for my inner peace. Hence, my quarter-life crisis was real. But thanks to my prayer partners and the class, I got a lot of clarity in what I needed to do. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Um, so what this means is that it's not about what I do or what I have to do or what God expects me to do. Everything is already completed through God, and all I really need to do is listen and obey. All I need to do is be still and know that God has everything in control. So after meditating on the verse, I felt so much freedom and liberation, and because it shed so much light to the truth that I needed to hear the most and understand during this time of my life. I still believe that in your 20s you're supposed to be like busy and youthful doing your thing, but now I have so much more clarity on how I can pursue different routes in a more God honoring way. So overall, I'm very thankful that Just my shepherd persuaded me to take this class. At the time, I really didn't want to take it because I was quote unquote busy with every single thing in my life. But I am really glad that I did because it gave me so much perspective and clarity on how I want to live my life in the future. And I'm so thankful that Hannah and Jamie were my prayer partners and that Sean let Jamie take the class. Um, and of course, always thankful for Pastor Daniel and his gift of teaching. So thank you everyone for listening, and I totally recommend everyone to take the class.